it for posterity. I just wanted a personal record. Derrick's brief was to produce the entire city square of Loudun, with its public buildings, houses, cathedral and convent, and the fortifications which gave the city its independence. It was constructed to look realistic, but also highly stylized. The real Loudun never looked anything like this, but Jarman caught the essence of a young, thriving city, proud of its gleaming white stone walls. The set would be used extensively for day and night shooting. It was constructed from lightweight materials for easy maneuverability, but had to be durable enough to stand up to anything that the English weather could throw at it. There happened to be fine weather during the early days, so some scenes were scheduled to take place in the Pinewood Garden. The garden had often made an appearance in the Carry On films, and on the face of it the assembled cast of The Devils would not have looked out of place in one of that series of comedies. The costumes were designed by Shirley Russell, Ken's first wife. Shirley had costumed practically all Ken's films, both for television and cinema, up to that time. Script supervisor Anne Skinner went on to become an independent producer. The atmosphere in the garden was relaxed, as it was for a great deal of the shooting period, but any scenes involving firearms are always treated very seriously, particularly when, as in this case, real guns were being used, even if they were firing blanks. Sound mixer Brian Simmons had to arrange his microphones in such a way as to record both quiet dialogue and loud pistol shots at the same time without either of them being distorted. Perhaps it's not surprising he was scratching his head. Ken Russell, seen here in the white-peaked cap, was always insistent that as much of the original sound as possible was used in the final film, as he found the process of post-synchronized dialogue tedious and unnatural. Apart from a few days on location in the north of England, including Ken's beloved Lake District, the entire film was shot in and around the studio compound, which helped to keep the momentum going. The director of photography, David Watkin, always aimed at lighting the set so that shooting could take place from all angles without the interruption of having to stop and make adjustments every time the camera changed position. David went on to Ken Russell's next film, The Boyfriend, as did many of us on the crew and several members of the cast. Ken liked to have familiar people around him, and some would say jokingly that they were working for the Russell Repertory Company. The exterior set was completed and the weather held. As far as I remember, the only rain that fell was manufactured by a machine for a particular scene that required it. Camera operator Ronnie Taylor later became a director of photography. Ken, in consultation with assistant director Ted Morley and choreographer Terry Gilbert. Timing of movement was critical where hundreds of extras and complex mechanical devices were involved. In the scene where Grandier is burnt at the stake, there were rigorous safety measures and the fire was kept well under control. As it happens, Oliver Reed was less worried about getting burnt than he was about wearing the mask to make his face look blistered and charred, which he found extremely uncomfortable. And so filming continued until Ken's vision of a city torn apart by political manipulation and religious hysteria was complete. But few, if any of us, realized that the end was just the beginning of a censorship controversy which has lasted until this day.